Episode 171. Discussion. Fortunately, Harriet had not forgotten that the dance club was here to apply for the job. Seeing that Harry had agreed to let them join the Star Moon Entertainment, she asked in embarrassment, "Harry, how much do you pay us for our salary?" Harry was stunned for a moment before he remembered that he had forgotten to mention it. He smiled and said, "The minimum salary is $4,000. The bonus for each performance of the company will be calculated separately. You can go and find Chelsea to discuss the specific criteria for the reward." "What? Chelsea? The president is here too?" Harriet asked in surprise. "Chelsea is now the CEO of Star Moon Entertainment. She is responsible for the daily management and operations of the company," Harry said. "As expected of the president, she even became the president of a big company." Chelsea had a lot of prestige in school. Harriet now knew that she had become the president of Harry's company and felt some envy and jealousy in her heart. In terms of looks, Harriet was not inferior to Chelsea. Both of them were one of the top 10 campus belles in Maryland University. In terms of ability, although it was not comparable to Chelsea's president of Students' Union position, Harriet felt that she was not much worse than her. The president of Dance Club was not someone anyone could be. Harriet thought to herself, she did not know when Chelsea had hooked up with Harry. Unfortunately, she was a step too late. If she could get to know this super rich man earlier, then the position of president might be hers. The rest of the people from Dance Club were even more shocked. They were all girls. They were all studying in university. Chelsea had actually become the president of a company, and they were just ordinary employees. President Chelsea is actually the CEO of the Star Moon Entertainment? So awesome. When can I be the CEO too? Don't think about it. She must have gotten close to Harry. Otherwise, why would she be the CEO? Yes, without Harry, she can't be the president. As they were talking, Chelsea pushed open the door and walked in. When she saw that the applicants were actually someone from the dance club, she was also very stunned for a moment. "Harriet, so it was you guys who applied," Chelsea suddenly said. "President, I also did not expect to meet you here." "President? President!" The other girls also greeted Chelsea. The current Chelsea was different. Although the president of Students' Union was mighty, it did not have a very obvious relationship with them. Now that Chelsea was the CEO and they were employees, the power of life and death was in Chelsea's hands. She must not be offended. "Why are you here?" Harry asked. "I came to take a look after I finished my work. How's it going?" Chelsea said. "They're all very good. I've decided to keep them all," Harry replied. "All of them?" "Yes, all of them." "All right then. Do you have any plans for them?" Harry thought for a moment and said, "Isn't the performance of the Dream Angels still lacking a dance team? They came all in the right time." When he saw Harriet and the others display their talent in dancing, Harry already had an idea in his heart. The opening ceremony of the Star Moon Hotel could not be sloppy. It had to be grander. The first performance of the Dream Angel group was even more important. The team that originally thought of 4 people was a little lacking. Now that there was a dance team of 50 people, it perfectly complemented this flaw. "Performing accompaniment for Dream Angel? This idea is quite good, but I don't know if they will be able to coordinate with each other," Chelsea said worriedly. "There are still more than 20 days. Time is indeed a little tight." Harry nodded and said. Harriet was very excited when she heard the arrangement Harry had prepared for the dance group. She could catch up with the opportunity to perform as soon as she entered the company. This was very rare. The opening ceremony of the 5-Star Moon Hotel would definitely not be small. For them who wanted to become famous, this was a very perfect stage. Thus, she promised Harry, "Don't worry, 20 days is enough. We will make the best use of our time to contact and rehearse." Chelsea said, "In that case, let all the training teachers come over. Jessica and the rest also call over. If we train together, it will be faster to familiarize ourselves with each other." "Okay, I'll listen to you," Harry nodded and said. "By the way, Jen wants you to go to her place to see her new costume." Chelsea remembered and said, "Oh, I'll go now. I will leave this side to you." After Harry said goodbye to Harriet and the others, he went to Jen's office alone. He said it was the office. Actually, the design room and the office had merged into one. The entire area was even bigger than Harry's office. "Jen, you're looking for me?" Harry opened the door and asked. "Yes, I want you to see if these clothes are suitable." Jen pointed at the clothes hanging on the rack and asked. Harry smiled and shook his head. "I don't know much about this. It's fine if you think it's appropriate." Jen stomped her foot angrily. This is your company after all. Can't you be more serious?" Seeing that she was angry, Harry helplessly said, All right, I'll take a look." "Is that not enough?" "That's more like it." Jen pointed to the clothing and said, "Originally, we planned a few performances. One was an ancient style, one was a modern fashion style, and the other was a 2D style. I discussed with the others and could not decide which one to choose." Harry dragged his chin and said, "Why must we choose a style? Isn't it very monotonous? Isn't it better to use a few styles?" Use them all," Jen said in surprise. "Yes, the whole performance was supposed to be performed by Jessica and the other three. A few hours of time is no less than a concert. If the style is too monotonous, the audience will feel tired of aesthetics," Harry explained. "That's true. Sorry, we did not consider everything properly," Jen apologized. As the designer of image design, she had the right to speak in this aspect of the performance. Now that there was such a big mistake, Jen felt that it was her fault. What's there to apologize for? After all, this is the first time that we're performing a performance. It is normal for some things to not be taken into consideration. With so many of us discussing it frequently, it will be perfect. Later, we'll call everyone up and discuss it again. Okay. In the meeting room, Harry, a few of the upper echelons of Star Moon Entertainment, and Jessica gathered together. "Call everyone here to discuss the performance of the opening ceremony. Everyone can say whatever you want." Harry was the first to speak. "What problem can there be? Just go on stage and sing." Felton's words caused everyone to roll their eyes. "If you don't understand, then don't open your mouth." Barry angrily hammered him. He then said to Harry, "I think we should consider the matter of the live broadcast." "Live broadcast? Well, tell me in detail." Harry nodded his head and said, "Yeah, why didn't I think of it in a live broadcast?" Felton said. "Don't interrupt. Let Barry say it." Chelsea glared at him. Episode 172, Platform. Although the scale of the opening ceremony in Star Moon Hotel isn't small, most of the people here are from Maryland. Our original purpose was to make use of the celebration to spread the name of Dream Angels, right? Barry took a sip of water and continued. "If that's the case, it would only be limited to the circle of Maryland, and the videos that can be produced will also be limited. Why don't we find a live broadcast platform and broadcast the entire show? We could spend a lot of money to promote it, and it will achieve the influence of the entire country." When everyone heard Barry's words, they all nodded silently. The Dream Angel group wanted to become famous. It was not enough to only be famous in Maryland. They had to expand their scope of influence. The best way to do so at this stage was to broadcast live. It had to be said that Barry still had some ideas. He did not waste Harry's position as the CEO for him. But if there are too few people watching the live broadcast, it would be useless, right? Chelsea frowned and asked. "That depends on how to operate it," Harry said. Barry agreed. "Yes, that's why I said we should talk about the promotion with the live broadcast company first." Harry asked, "Which is the biggest broadcasting company in the country right now?" "Let's talk to the person in charge of the live broadcast company," Harry said. "All right, I'll send someone to contact him right away." Chelsea walked out and instructed people to look for the people from the Bullhorn Company. After a while, she walked in and said, "We have already contacted them. They will send people over in a while." "So soon? The headquarters of Donnie is in Maryland?" Harry asked in surprise. "No, the person who came is the person in charge of the company that Donnie set up in Maryland. He's in charge of the business cooperation in Maryland." Chelsea explained. After more than 20 minutes, Donnie's person arrived at the entrance of Star Moon Entertainment. Ah, I remember that this should be light entertainment. How did it become Star Moon Entertainment? Jenkins asked curiously. I don't know. Last week, it was light entertainment. The assistant beside him was also very puzzled. Is it light entertainment or Star Moon Entertainment who invited us to discuss business? Jenkins asked his assistant. Star Moon Entertainment. The assistant answered affirmatively. That's right. Let's go in. After reporting his company's name at the front desk, the receptionist politely guided them in. Follow me. Our chairman and CEO are waiting for you. Beauty, let me ask you a question. Didn't this used to be light entertainment? Jenkins couldn't help but ask. Yes, but light entertainment has moved away, so it's Star Moon Entertainment, the receptionist said calmly. Actually, she was the front desk of light entertainment in the past, but she had turned to Harry. Most of the people here were from light entertainment in the past. Now that they were just changing the soup and not the medicine, apart from the company's name and the change in leadership, they were still those people. Now, the salary Harry gave them was much higher than before, and the front desk did not want to lose their job here. Is that so? Jenkins nodded and did not say anything else. He just stared at the butt of the receptionist. He sighed in his heart. It was better to come to entertainment company to discuss business. There were too many beautiful women here. And the reception desk was so beautiful. The receptionist walked at the front, relying on the intuition of a woman. She felt that someone was staring at her from behind. She turned her head to look and found that Jenkins was staring at her with a pair of sneaky eyes. She was very angry. However, Jenkins was Harry's guest. She could not be rude, so she could only silently bring her people to Harry's office. She knocked on the door. Chairman, the people from Bullhorn Company are here. Come in, Harry answered. The receptionist pushed the door open and signaled Jenkins to go in. She gently closed the door and let out a breath. The man's eyes were so perverted that she was disgusted. She thought that this man must be a serious person. Hello, you're the chairman of the Star Moon Entertainment. This must be the president of Star Moon Entertainment. In the office, there were only 3 people. Besides Harry, who was sitting in the main seat, Chelsea was sitting beside him. There were 2 people. One was young and handsome, and the other was pure and beautiful. They were both at the highest level of the company. Jenkins, who was already a greasy, middle-aged man, was very jealous of them. Yes, how should I address you? Harry gestured for Jenkins to sit down and talk. I am Jenkins, the person in charge of the office of the Bullhorn Company in Maryland. This is my assistant. Jenkins introduced himself. Director Jenkins, please take a seat. I will not say much about the small talk. I have called you here today to discuss the cooperation between us, Harry said politely. Jenkins nodded. I already know the details over the phone. What is the request of the Bullhorn Company about promoting the live broadcast? Harry asked. Speaking of the request, Jenkins picked it up and pinched it. His favorite thing to do was to talk business with entertainment companies. Many artists wanted to become famous, and entertainment companies wanted to promote them. There were many things that could be done here. Most of the time, as long as he gave a slight hint, he would be able to make money and play with beautiful female artists. This was what Jenkins was thinking right now. Although Star Moon Entertainment seemed to have just opened a company and he was not familiar with Harry, Jenkins believed that the routine was still the same. He said, It's the opening ceremony of Star Moon Hotel. Director Parker, your company is going to perform. To be honest, it's not easy to broadcast and promote this area. Why? Harry frowned. The performance is not interesting. If your company's artists are not famous, then we can't give them the best promotional spot to them. We won't be able to receive too much traffic. Hearing him say this, Harry said, Don't worry, I can give you more money. As long as you can guarantee that the live broadcast will spread throughout the whole process, that's all. Jenkins was happy to hear what Harry said. Chairman Parker is generous. As a person in charge of the company in Maryland, I have to be responsible for the company, right? Let me take a look at the artists you're performing first. If it is suitable, there's no problem with promoting them. Harry nodded. He did not know what Jenkins was thinking at the moment, so he said to Chelsea, Let Jessica and the others come over." Chelsea stood up and went out to call for people. Jenkins watched Chelsea's back as she left. His eyes were filled with lust. He had been stunned by Chelsea ever since he entered the office. He did not expect the CEO of this company to be such a young and beautiful woman. Judging from her age, she was not even 20 years old. She should be a university student around 18 or 19 years old. Jenkins loved girls at this age the most. Although he was talking to Harry just now, he kept peeking at Chelsea from the corner of his eye. Episode 173. Requirements. Jenkins thought Chelsea was a plaything for Harry, and the CEO was just a title to please him. Harry frowned. He did not know which part of Jenkins was wrong. He dared to speak like this. Just as he was about to speak, the office door was pushed open. Chelsea brought Jessica and Tammy with her. Sasha and Helena walked in. "Director Jenkins, these are the 4 artists that we are going to perform in the live broadcast," Chelsea introduced. At this moment, Jenkins' eyes were wide open. He thought that they were just ordinary female artists, but he did not expect them to all be the best quality. He was overjoyed in his heart. It was the right decision to come to Star Moon Entertainment today. Out of the 4 female artists, Jessica and Tammy were pure and lovely. Sasha and Helena were charming, and their figures were slim and slender. They were very attractive. In his heart, Chelsea might be Harry's woman. Although he was envious of her, it was best not to touch her. However, artists were different. Which entertainment company did not use their artists as bargaining chips? Jenkins believed that as long as he spoke, Harry would definitely agree to his request. "Manager Jenkins, you've seen them. What do you think?" Jenkins chuckled. "Director Parker, your company's artists are indeed not bad, but that's not enough." "Then what do you want?" "Of course, I'll take them to a place and thoroughly review them," Jenkins said with a lustful expression. "What? What do you mean?" Chelsea said angrily. "Do you really have to let me be clear? It's not impossible for your company to broadcast the promotion live as long as the 4 of them serve me well." Jessica and the other 3 expressions changed drastically. They did not expect this person to have expectations on them. They looked at Harry nervously, not knowing whether he would agree or not. Jessica and Tammy knew that this kind of thing was very common. It was also because they had rejected this kind of thing before that they were in such dire straits. And Sasha and Helena were not the same as Jenkins in the past, but even if they did have a good backer, they would not be able to get along. Now, they were both artists of Harry. Although they believed in Harry's character, they could not help but worry in their hearts, what if Harry agreed? Chelsea did not think that the person she contacted would actually have this kind of idea. She was so angry that her chest kept rising and falling. She could not say a word. "Director Parker, generally speaking, if your entertainment company wants to cooperate with us, it is only right to give money to women. But today, I see that Director Parker's artists are so outstanding. I don't want the money. As long as the 4 of them accompany me for a night, I'll handle the live broadcast promotion," Jenkins said happily. He believed that Harry would definitely agree if he said so. After all, the entertainment company could not afford to raise a group of artists for free. They had to make them famous and make money for the company. If they wanted to become famous, the promotion of the live broadcast was also very important. It was impossible for Harry to defend the dignity of few artists and refuse to get any benefits. However, what Jenkins did not expect was that Harry directly said a word coldly. "Get lost." "What? What did you say, Director Parker?" Jenkins asked in disbelief. "I told you to get lost." How dare you speak to me like that? I'm the person in charge of the biggest live broadcast company in Maryland." Jenkins pointed at Harry and said, "I don't care who you are. If you don't believe me, I will kill you." Harry shouted, "Think about it. You have offended the entire Bullhorn company for the sake of a few artists. You still want to work with us in the future?" Jenkins stood up and said loudly. He did not understand why Harry was doing this. Many companies could not even get the opportunity to promote their products. He had clearly promised Harry that as long as these 4 artists accompanied him, he would be able to get the promotion. And he was rejected just like that. Could it be that these 4 artists were made of gold, so expensive that they couldn't be touched? Harry said disdainfully, "Is your company really that awesome? If I lack you guys, I won't be able to open my company. What a joke." Jessica and the other 3 were very touched when they saw Harry reject Jenkins so domineeringly in order to prevent them from losing their dignity. Only Harry would protect them and value them so much. He didn't see them as a commodity or a toy. "Bullhorn is the biggest live broadcast platform in the country. You are just the boss of a small entertainment company. You can't bear the consequences of offending me," Jenkins shouted coldly. "What can you do?" "Humph. In the future, your Star Moon Entertainment will be a blacklist for live broadcasts. Don't even think about being able to broadcast live in our platform," Jenkins threatened. What a terrifying consequence. Harry couldn't help but laugh. Jenkins was pleased with himself. He was afraid. How can an entertainment company compare with a bullfight? He would crush you in minutes. "Someone, come and kick him out," Harry shouted. "What? You're really not afraid that our company will ban your Star Moon Entertainment?" Jenkins did not expect Harry to be so ignorant. Tiny Tim heard Harry's orders and walked in. When he saw Jenkins shouting at young master, he immediately lifted him up. You let me go! Do you know who I am?" Jenkins shouted at Tiny Tim. He had been in Maryland for so many years. Which company did not carefully serve him? He did not expect to meet a tough nail at Star Moon Entertainment today. "Who are you? You're trash," Tiny Tim said with a sneer. After that, he carried Jenkins and walked out. He didn't need Harry's instructions to be too detailed. He walked all the way downstairs and threw Jenkins into the trash can. "Ouch! It hurts so much! Go and tell your mistress that if she dares to treat me like this, your Star Moon Entertainment will be finished. Wait for death!" Jenkins shouted fiercely. Tiny Tim sneered. "You should be glad that you're still alive. My employer will not lower himself to your level. If you dare to cause trouble again, do you believe that you will not live until tomorrow?" Jenkins was frightened by Tiny Tim's murderous aura. He quickly shut his mouth and didn't say any more vicious words. When Tiny Tim left, he shouted at his assistant, who was scared silly. "Help me up!" "Oh, Jenkins, what should we do about today?" the assistant asked as she helped Jenkins up. "What should we do? If you offend me, Jenkins, Star Moon Entertainment will not have a good end." In Harry's office, a few girls were looking at Harry with gratitude and admiration. They knew very well what had happened just now. Harry chased Jenkins out without hesitation because of them. But thinking about this, he must have offended Jenkins to death. What if Donnie really blacklisted Star Moon Entertainment? What about Harry? This was a newly established company. It couldn't just close down like this, right? "Harry, what should we do about this?" Chelsea asked worriedly. Episode 174. I Dare Not. She knew that what Harry did was right, but it didn't mean that he would have a good ending if he did the right thing. If he protected Jessica and the other 3 and offended Donnie, the company would definitely suffer some losses. Now, she could only think of a way to resolve it. Sasha and Helena looked at each other, gritted their teeth, and said to Harry, "Harry, why don't we tell Jenkins that the 2 of us will accompany him for a night and let him not bother about the matter anymore?" The 2 of them had done this kind of thing many times in the past, and their reputation among classmates was also bad. Now, although they had changed, they wholeheartedly wanted to rely on Harry to make a name for themselves. But today, Jenkins' matter was not handled well, and it was a big blow to the newly established Star Moon Entertainment. The 2 of them decided to sacrifice themselves again. After all, this was not the first time they had done this kind of thing. As long as they closed their eyes and make a trip, it would be done before they knew it. What? You 2? Jessica and Tammy did not expect the 2 of them to make such a suggestion. Chelsea even directly rejected. "No, what are you thinking about?" Harry waved his hand and said, "Have you forgotten what I said before? In the future, with me around, No one can think about that kind of debauchery. It's just a live broadcast platform. Do you really think you can cover the sky with one hand? But after all, Bullhorn is the largest in the country. How big can the biggest one be? If I lack his company, I won't be able to live? Harry said with a smile. Chelsea asked, There is no way for us to work together anymore. What about the live broadcast? Harry said, Find another live broadcast company. There's so many live broadcasting platforms in the country. There's no shortage of companies. Okay, I'll contact them now. Chelsea nodded and asked, Yes, you should also go and rehearse. You must bring out the best standard during the opening ceremony, Harry said to Jessica and the other three. Understood. The four of them said their goodbyes and walked out of the office. Jessica could not help but say, Sasha, Helena, I did not think that you would be willing to accompany that person for the company. Sasha laughed, self-deprecatingly. Why? Are you looking down on us? Jessica shook her head. No, I admire you, and to be honest, I really can't make such a big sacrifice. Helena said in disappointment. We don't want to either, but since we want to be in the entertainment industry, in the future, people like Jenkins will come across such things often. Tammy did not mind and said, What are you afraid of? Isn't there still Harry? With him protecting us, who would dare to act recklessly? The three of them looked at Harry's office and felt excited in their hearts. Yes, luckily our boss is Harry. Today, Jenkins should be glad that he did not make Harry angry. Otherwise, it would not be Tiny Tim who carried him out, but someone carried him out on a stretcher. Tammy said angrily. She had seen how Harry dealt with people. Although he would not do it himself, those few subordinates never showed mercy when they attacked. They would never stop until they crippled someone. When she thought of Jenkins' face just now, she felt extremely disgusted. She didn't expect that he would dare to make such an outrageous request. He actually wanted the four of them to accompany him. Garbage like a fat pig. Why don't you look at your stinky face in the mirror? Tammy couldn't help but curse. Are you scolding Jenkins? Jessica asked. Who else could I be angry when I think of him? I should have kicked him twice just now, or else I wouldn't have been able to vent my anger. Tammy said angrily. Yes, I will remember today's score first. Wait a minute. Yes, I will remember today's score first. I will teach him a good lesson when I meet him in the future. Jessica nodded and said. Chelsea and Barry walked into Harry's office together. Barry asked, Harry, I heard that the people from Bullhorn Company made some excessive requests just now. Yes, I sent them away, Harry said faintly. Barry gave him a thumbs up and praised. You're a good man. The beauties in our company are not for outsiders to think about. If I was there, I would have slapped him twice. Chelsea rolled her eyes at him and said disdainfully, You just have what it takes to speak. Barry said discontentedly, How can you say that about me? I'm also very manly. Is that so? Jenkins shouldn't have gone far. Why don't you chase after him and teach him a lesson? Harry smiled. There are too many things in the company that I can't handle. Today, I'll let him off easy, Barry said awkwardly. Harry gave him the middle finger. Chelsea saw Harry make such an indecent posture and knocked on the table to make him pay more attention. Let's get down to business. I contacted Big Bear's live broadcast platform. Big Bear's live broadcast headquarters is in Maryland, the second largest live broadcast platform in the country. Their person in charge will be here soon. Barry shouted, I'll talk with him when he comes. If he still dares to think about taking some of our girls, I'll beat him up. Okay, then we'll see how Barry's going to show off later, Harry said with a smile. After a while, the person in charge of Big Bear's live broadcast arrived. Hello, Mr. Parker. I'm the business director of Big Bear's live broadcast, Harold. When the person saw Harry, he respectfully introduced himself. Hello, director. You know me? Harry asked curiously. This was because Harold called Harry Mr. Parker, which made him appear especially respectful. Harold smiled and said, How could I not know Mr. Parker's great name? In the upper circle of Maryland, Harry's name was very famous. Not only did he destroy the Bannon family, he even made Troy lower his head and admit his mistake. Although many people were still unclear about Harry's background, Troy, who knew Harry's true identity, didn't dare to tell anyone about it. However, it didn't stop the upper echelons of Maryland from knowing about Harry. He was a very powerful man that they couldn't afford to offend. Harold wasn't considered a person of this level. The reason why he knew about Harry was because Light Entertainment had been chased away. Star Moon Entertainment had taken over the territory and personnel of Light Entertainment. Such an awesome method had shaken the entire entertainment circle in Maryland. After asking around, he found out that the owner of Star Moon Entertainment was a mysterious Harry. After learning the Star Moon Entertainment wanted to collaborate to promote the live broadcast, Harold didn't dare delay any longer and rushed over. That's the specifics. As for how much it cost to promote the live broadcast, Harold, name a price. Harry briefly explained the matter. We don't dare to ask for money when we work with Mr. Parker. It's just promotion, right? This matter is simple. Leave it to me. Harold patted his chest and said, What? You don't want money? Barry jumped up and asked in disbelief. What money? It's our honor to be able to do something for Mr. Parker. Then what do you want? Do you want a sample of our company's artists? Barry felt that since Harold did not want money, he must have some evil ideas. Harold was sweating when he heard that. Who the fuck wanted the rules of our company? Do I dare? Do I still have a brain? If he knew that Jenkins, who was broadcasting the battle a dozen minutes ago, would dare to make such a request to Harry, he would definitely be in admiration of him. He would also buy some burning paper for Jenkins and pay his respects to him later. Episode 175, Idol. Barry said in surprise, You really don't want anything? I don't want anything. It's just a promotion. I don't dare to ask Mr. Parker for anything. Harold shook his head. Seeing how respectful he was to Harry, Barry felt depressed. This isn't giving him a chance to show off. I still want to show off my mightiness. Harry smiled and said, Since that's the case, I won't say anything more. Harold is taking care of me. We'll be friends from now on. Harold was overjoyed and said, I'm honored, Mr. Parker. If he did not offend Harry, he could still please him. This was a rare opportunity. Harold felt that he had earned it today. After all, he was a mysterious, powerful, and wealthy individual. Being friends with him was a very precious opportunity. When he became familiar with Harry in the future, he would be considered a top figure in Maryland. What social status? Everyone is equal. I'll leave the promotion of the live broadcast to Harold, Harry said politely. Don't worry, Mr. Parker, I'll definitely do it for you. You do your work first, I'll go back and prepare now. Harold bowed and left. After waiting for them to leave, Chelsea discussed with Harry again. Basically, they were almost ready and were only waiting for the celebration to be held. At this time, Henry walked in and said, Mr. Parker, there's something you need to make a decision on. What is it? Harry asked. A celebrity came to the company to buy a song from me. I had already rejected him, but they refused to leave the company. They insisted on talking to you, Henry said helplessly. Oh, what do you think? If you want to sell it, I have no objections. Harry respected Henry very much. Although he had already become his employee, if someone else wanted to buy a song from him, Harry would not stop them. Henry shook his head. Both of you. They're kind of idols who don't have any professional skills. They only rely on their looks to survive. I don't give my songs to people like them. As the most famous composer of the entertainment circle, it wasn't like Henry didn't have his own temper. He had a very high standard in his heart when it came to who he sold his songs to. If it was those ignorant and incompetent celebrities who relied on hype to sing their songs to this kind of person, it would be an insult to Henry. I understand. Just send them away, right? Henry nodded and said. As he spoke, there was a loud noise outside the door. Hey, this is our chairman's office. You can't just barge in. I'm looking for your chairman. Why shouldn't I take Mr. Henry's songs? Get out of the way. Harry's office door was forcefully pushed open and two people, a young man and woman, entered. Who is the chairman of Star Moon Entertainment? I am, Harry said coldly. Initially, he wanted to have a good talk with these two, but seeing their attitude, Harry didn't have a good expression on his face. I'm Rayleigh. You know me, right? If you don't know what's good for you, quickly cancel the contract with Mr. Henry. What right does a lousy entertainment company like you have to let Mr. Henry be your employee? This person who spoke was a very feminine person. Although he looked very weak, he spoke arrogantly. He wanted to use his nose to look at everyone. Sorry, I really don't know you, Harry sneered. My Rayla is the idol with the most traffic right now. How dare you say you don't know him? The female assistant beside Rayla said angrily. In her opinion, Rayla was the top idol in the country. To be able to come to Henry personally was already putting his status at the lowest. In the end, none of the people here actually appreciated him. I was pestered so badly that I couldn't do anything. I can only say that I am now an employee of Star Moon Entertainment and can't help outsiders write songs, Henry said to Harry softly with an apologetic expression. Henry really could not handle this troublesome matter. Originally, he had stayed in Star Moon Entertainment well. He knew that this Rayla would come to find him when he got the news that he was here. He had already said that he would not sell his songs to him, yet this person was still pestering him and refusing to leave. I will handle this matter, Harry said and leaned back on his chair calmly. He said to Rayla, You want to buy a song from Mr. Henry, right? Unfortunately, Mr. Henry's songs are all booked up by our company. You can go back to where you came from. That's why I want you to cancel the contract with Mr. Henry. It's best if you cancel the contract now, otherwise I won't be polite to you, Rayla threatened. In his opinion, Harry was the boss of a small entertainment company. He did not know what method he used to get Henry here. He had never heard of a Star Moon Entertainment. As long as it was not a company owned by a big shot in the entertainment industry, he, Rayla, could easily take care of it. You're very confident, Harry sneered. This kind of threat, not just one or two people had told Harry about it. But what happened in the end? None of the people who threatened Harry had a good ending. I am Rayla. You can't bear the consequences of offending a famous star like me, Rayla said proudly. He was very confident in his own identity. Harry said disdainfully, You're just a piece of trash. Do you really think you're someone important? If you know your own limitations, get the hell out of here right now. Otherwise, you will suffer. You dare to call me trash? I have 20 million fans. Do you believe that as long as I expose your attitude towards me today, your Star Moon Entertainment will be smashed into pieces by my fans? Rayla angrily pointed at Harry and shouted, 20 million fans? It's really scary. Kiss Holiday only has a few million fans, right? Harry pretended to be surprised and said, Huh? Are you afraid? Rayla thought that Harry was really scared, and he felt extremely proud in his heart. Yes, I'm indeed scared. You're openly flaunting the flow of people, but no one suspects it. It is really scary, Harry said with a cold smile. Harry knew a little bit about the celebrities. Stephen had told him about them. The number of fans, the likes and comments, and so on were all hyped up by the internet trolls. Stephen had done this kind of work before, so he could not be clear about the inside story. You're the one who's falsifying. Your whole family is falsifying. The number of fans I have is real. If I don't compete with you for this today, Mr. Henry must write a song for me. If you don't let it go, I will flip your Star Moon Entertainment upside down. Rayla was like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. He jumped up and down and shouted. Harry shook his head. It can't be fake. It can't be fake. Show me if you really have the ability. You can't scare me with your words alone. All right, I think you won't shed tears until you see the coffin. I'll tell all my fans right now and see if they won't tear you apart, Rayla said angrily. Harry did not care at all. He picked up the phone and called Stephen. You know Rayla, right? Check his background. Give me their information. Episode 176, Black Material. Stephen asked curiously, Rayla, what's wrong? He's preparing to let his 20 million fans flip Star Moon Entertainment. 20 million. I'm scared to death. Harry said he was scared to death, but his face was full of smiles. Stephen also smiled. It's really freaking scary. There's no need to investigate. I have ready-made ones here. I'll bring it over for you now. Rayla looked at the phone call Harry made with suspicion. From the words he said, he could tell that Harry wanted someone to bring him some information about Rayla. He could find his own information on the internet, so why would he need someone else to look for him? Rayla did not know what Harry was doing. However, he soon found out because Stephen walked in with a stack of documents and handed it to Harry. Harry shook his head as he read. He was still clicking his tongue. He looked up at Rayla with disdain in his eyes. "What the hell are you doing?" Rayla couldn't help but ask. Harry laughed and read the information. Rayla, a famous idol. Oh, the word popular has to be added to the quotations. His original name is Black Dog. Everyone in the office could not help but laugh. The name was really too native. It did not match at all with Rayla, who was full of glory in front of others. Harry continued to read. The original home address, some small town outside Atlanta, 11 plastic surgeries, and... Rayla broke out in a cold sweat. This material had dug out all of his hidden secrets. Every single one that Harry had read was true. This was the thing that Rayla didn't want anyone to know the most. You, don't say any more! Harry ignored him and continued reading. They claim to have 20 million fans, but in reality, most of them are robot fans. The internet trolls make up numbers. The actual number of fans does not exceed 20,000. The hype record... Rayla was no longer sweating. He was about to pee his pants. He didn't know where Harry got this information from, but if it was exposed to the public, he would definitely be finished. Don't read it! Please don't read it! Rayla begged. Just now, he still had an overbearing look on his face, but now he looked like a defeated dog begging for mercy. Harry said with a smile on his face, On the surface, it's 20 million, but in reality, it's not even 20,000 fans. To be able to survive until now, you really have the ability. You could be considered a talent. Rayla no longer dared to threaten Harry anymore. Now it wasn't because he was threatening Harry, but because once Harry was provoked and his black material was exposed, he, Rayla, would no longer be able to enjoy the treatment of being pursued by 10,000 people. Instead, he would be scolded by 10,000 people. Now what else do you have to say? Do you still want your fans to mess up my Star Moon entertainment? It's not impossible for 20,000 fans to do so. However, I really want to see what your fans will think of you after this material is exposed. Harry mocked. Rayla's body was trembling like he was shaking. He begged for mercy. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I will kneel down to you. Please don't publicize this material. After saying that, Rayla really knelt down before Harry. He knocked his head hard on the ground, not hesitating at all. Harry waved his hand at him. Get lost. I don't want to see you again. What about this material? Rayla asked nervously. I'm not so bored as to expose it, but if you dare disrespect me again, I'm not sure. Harry threatened. Understood. Understood. Rayla scrambled out of Star Moon Entertainment. When he walked out of Cloud Heaven building, he looked back with lingering fear. He was really scared to death just now. He was afraid that Harry would really kill him. Although Harry said that he would not expose his secret, it was still a sword hanging above his head. It was very unsafe. His life was in someone else's hands. This kind of feeling made him very unhappy. The assistant beside him asked carefully, Rayla, what should we do now? We can't let him do that, can we? What if he comes back to threaten you one day? Rayla nodded his head in agreement. He felt that he had to deal with this crisis as soon as possible. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to sleep in peace. I heard that Kiss Holiday has a conflict with them. Let's go and find her and work together. We must kill Star Moon Entertainment, Rayla said fiercely. In fact, he had the heart of a villain. Harry did not even think about threatening him with that black material. He was just a trashy celebrity. How could Harry put him in his eyes? As long as he did not offend Harry in the future, today's matter would be considered to have come to an end. Rayla did not think that way. Harry had a secret. Once it was announced to the public, he would never be able to make a comeback. He had to kill Harry to make him feel at ease. He brought his assistant to Kiss Holiday's residence. Kiss Holiday was very surprised when she saw Rayla coming to visit. Although she knew Rayla, she didn't really know him. The two of them did not have a deep friendship. Now that they had come to her for no reason, she did not know why. You? Miss Holiday, I heard that you were beaten up by people from Star Moon Entertainment. I came to see you, Rayla said politely. Kiss Holiday immediately became angry. You're here to see me make a joke of myself, right? She did not believe that Rayla would be so kind as to come and visit her. If he did not have anything to do to please her, he definitely would not have good intentions. No, Miss Holiday, you misunderstood me. To tell you the truth, I went to Starman Entertainment today to buy songs from Mr. Henry. In the end, I went there to be scolded by that man. The owner of Starman Entertainment is really bad, Rayla said angrily. Speaking of Kiss Holiday, he had something in common with her, she said excitedly. What's going on? Tell me. Rayla roughly explained the situation. Of course, Harry must not tell him that he had the black material. The truth of the matter had been distorted. He said that he was sincerely asking for a song, but in the end, not only did Harry not agree, but that this kind of attitude would also not be able to quell the hatred in his heart if it did not kill him. Kiss Holiday nodded with sympathy. Indeed, this person is too detestable. Originally, I found Lester to support me. Unfortunately, Lester returned to the West Coast and can't come over for the time being. I can only let him be proud for a while. When Rayla heard Kiss Holiday find Lester, he was very surprised in his heart. He did not expect Kiss Holiday to quietly lean on such a big tree. Then, he thought as long as Lester made a move, Starman Entertainment would definitely be finished. He smiled in surprise and said, Miss Holiday is still the best. I was just wondering how to deal with them. Kiss Holiday was pleased in her heart, but her face said faintly, with Lester taking action, they will not live for more than a few days. You just wait and see. Rayla hesitated and said, but if we ask Lester to take action, we need to find a chance, right? Yes, the owner of Star Moon Entertainment seems to have some ability too. Without a good opportunity, it is not easy to do it. Kiss Holiday nodded her head and said, Rayla smiled. I have some news. I don't know if I can help. Episode 177, Join Forces. Kiss Holiday asked curiously, what news? I went to Starman Entertainment today and accidentally heard that they were busy preparing a performance to push the company's artists to the front desk. When Rayla went to ask Henry for songs, he heard the discussion of Starman Entertainment's employees and remembered this in his heart. He did not expect that it would come in handy here. What performance? In 20 days, Star Moon Hotel will reopen and hold a grand celebration. Star Moon Entertainment seems to want to take advantage of this opportunity to make a name for a few new artists. I heard that there will be a live broadcast. They asked a large streaming company to come and talk about business, but they left unhappily. Kiss Holiday did not react for a moment and asked, what is the use of this news? Rayla smiled and said, Miss Holiday, what do you think will happen if we try to mess this up? Kiss Holiday suddenly smiled and said, Star Moon Entertainment is a newly established company. If we fail after the performance, it will be very difficult for us to stand up again in the future. Yes, you can contact Bullhorn and ask what happened at that time. Maybe Bullhorn also wants to step on it. Kiss Holiday said in surprise. That's right. I did not think of this just now. Starman Entertainment even dared to offend the Bullhorn department. They're really short-sighted. That's right. We can't let this kind of arrogant guy mix in the entertainment industry. Otherwise, we won't be able to bear it in the future. It's a pity that I don't have the ability to deal with him. Miss Holiday is different. You are stronger than me. Whether you can defeat Star Moon Entertainment or not will depend on you. Rayla flattered her. Kiss Holiday enjoyed it very much. Although Rayla seemed to have more fans than her, she was well aware of the actual situation. Even if it was Kiss Holiday's millions of fans, there was still some exaggeration in it. However, Kiss Holiday wanted to use the entertainment circle's first sister as a benchmark for her. Rayla being so respectful to her made Kiss feel very happy. Leave this matter to me. Just wait and see how Starman Entertainment counts their chickens before they hatch. Kiss Holiday said coldly. Then I will not disturb Miss Holiday's rest. Goodbye. Rayla saw that he had achieved his goal, so he prepared to leave. He would not take the initiative to attack. Otherwise, once Harry found out about this, he would announce his secret to the public, and both sides would suffer heavy losses. As long as he hid behind the scenes and watched Kiss Holiday and Harry fight, it would be fine. He wouldn't get himself involved in this. This was Rayla's goal. After sending Rayla away, Kiss Holiday first thought for a while and decided to start with Star Moon Hotel. Didn't Harry want to perform the opening ceremony of Star Moon Hotel? Then she would pry into this performance. With her status as the queen, Kiss Holiday, taking the initiative to look for Star Moon Hotel to perform for her was already lowering her status. She didn't believe that the hotel would use a newcomer like Star Moon Entertainment. Contact Star Moon Hotel and say that I can hold a concert at their celebration. Don't ask for a lot of money for me to perform. Kiss Holiday instructed her assistant. Okay, Miss Holiday, I will go and contact them now, the assistant responded. After a while, the assistant said in surprise, Miss Holiday, they refused. What? Didn't you clearly say my identity? I am the Heavenly Queen. Now that I have lowered my status to perform the opening ceremony for them, they will only reject me if they take the wrong medicine? Kiss Holiday said in disbelief. The assistant smiled bitterly. I have already clearly stated your identity, but Star Moon Hotel did not change their mind at all. They are determined to let Star Moon Entertainment perform. Kiss Holiday murmured. Star Moon Hotel. Star Moon Entertainment. Do you think these two companies are related? The assistant shook her head and said, Not likely. I think it's just that their names are similar. One is a hotel and the other is an entertainment company. It's a company owned by a boss. Isn't this leap too big? Then how do we explain why the hotel insisted on Star Moon Entertainment acting? Kiss Holiday asked in confusion. One was a heavenly queen who enjoyed the reputation of entertainment circle. The other was a nameless entertainment company and an unknown artist. Normal people knew who to choose. If they were worried that the price would be too high, they already said earlier that the price didn't matter. So it wasn't about the money at all. The assistant was also puzzled. She did not know what kind of crazy thing was going on in the Star Moon Hotel. Wouldn't it be even more sensational if Kiss Holiday, the Heavenly Queen, helped them perform the opening ceremony? How could they refuse? Forget it. I don't want to think about this anymore. I will ask the bullfighter again. Kiss Holiday waved her hand and said. As she spoke, she called Jenkins again. Director Jenkins, I heard that you were chased out by the Star Moon Entertainment today. That's Miss Holiday. Don't mention it. The boss of Star Moon Entertainment is a madman. He doesn't give me any face for the sake of a few artists. Jenkins roughly explained the situation. Only then did Kiss Holiday understand that Jenkins had tried to use his power and influence to sleep with Harry's artist as a condition to help him settle the matter of the live broadcast promotion. Regarding this kind of thing, although Kiss Holiday was a woman, she had been in the entertainment circle for a long time, so she was not surprised and thought it was very normal. You really think too highly of others. Are you going to let it go just like that? Kiss Holiday asked. Jenkins sneered and said, How is that possible? Those who offend me will not have a good end. I'm thinking about how to take revenge. Kiss Holiday thought that Harry had offended a lot of people. Lester was alone, and Jenkins was the same. Now both of them wanted to take revenge on him, so she had to make good use of this opportunity. She said, Let's work together. Eh? Miss Holiday, what are you doing? Jenkins was a little confused. He did not know why Kiss Holiday wanted to work with him to deal with Harry. He also offended me. There was also Mr. Halstead. Therefore, I think we should work together to deal with him, and let this guy know who he shouldn't offend. Kiss Holiday said fiercely. Jenkins smiled in surprise. That's great. With Miss Holiday and Mr. Halstead, dealing with Star Moon Entertainment is almost certain. Oh, then let's meet up at a place. Okay. It was unclear on the phone, so Kiss Holiday prepared to meet Jenkins and discuss the strategy to deal with Harry in detail. Harry knew nothing about this and was still puzzled. Didn't Kiss Holiday want to find Lester to deal with him? Why was it still calm and peaceful after so many days? Logically speaking, Lester wasn't like this. A rich man like him wouldn't wait until the next day to lose face. Usually he would seek revenge. Stephen, go and find out what Lester has been up to recently. Harry thought for a moment and ordered. He could not just sit there and wait for others to attack. Defending and counterattacking was not Harry's personality. The best move was to strike first and gain the upper hand. Is that Lester from the West Coast Mining? I'll investigate right now. Stephen nodded and said. Episode 178. News. After Harriet's dance club signed the employment contract with Harry, although the training work was very tight because the time was too short, there were still more than 20 days before the performance. However, Harry was not unreasonable. Seeing that these girls were indeed training very hard, he gave them a day off to go back and rest. It was not good to always tighten a single thread. They needed to be able to relax and unwind. Harriet did not expect Harry to have such a relationship with them. She was extremely grateful in her heart. Harry, thank you. I didn't expect you to be such a considerate boss. Harry smiled. You have to be here for a few days. I have seen all the seriousness of your training. It's only right that I give you a day off. Harry is really warm. I feel like my heart has been stolen by him. If only he was my boyfriend. By the way, although the salary will be given next month, I can give you guys some bonuses first, Harry said. Bonuses? We just came to the company and have been training. What are the bonuses? Harriet asked curiously. Harry smiled and said, Our training also has rewards. Although it is not much, I've decided to give you each $1,000. Oh my God, $1,000? It's only been a few days and you already have money to take it. $1,000 per person. 50 of us will be $50,000. Harry's really generous, everyone exclaimed. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Harriet said in surprise. Don't be surprised. I will pull you guys into a group. Each of you will receive a red packet in order. Don't try to snatch it from me, Harry said with a smile. As he spoke, he took out his phone and created a group, pulling all 50 beauties from the dance club into it. He really sent the money. Thank you, boss. Boss, I love you. The girls who had received the money were extremely excited. They no longer called Harry by his name. Instead, they called him boss. Harry chuckled and said, What boss? We're all classmates. You could just call me Harry. You've received all the red packets, right? Today, you can go out to shop and eat something you like to eat. Have a good rest. Harriet said gratefully, I'm really glad to be able to come to your company. You're the best boss in the world. Don't praise me. I'll be proud, Harry said modestly. Sisters, let's go out and play, Harriet called out. Let's go! Let's go play! I'm gonna eat so much. I want to eat cream cake. Harry, come with us. That's right. Let's go shopping together, okay? The girls surrounded him and invited him. Although $1,000 was not much, they were still a group of students and did not spend much money in places. It was already very satisfying to be able to buy something delicious and fun. Harry smiled and waved his hand. I'm not going. I still have things to do here. All right, then. Can we do it next time? Someone asked unwillingly. Harry nodded. All right, when we have time, let's go out and play together. Ha, that's more like it. They were classmates with Harry, and Harry never put on airs in front of them, so no one treated Harry as their boss. Usually when they were together, they would laugh with Harry very lively. Harry did not care about these things. As long as everyone was happy, there was no need to make the relationship tense. That kind of serious upper-level relationship was also something Harry did not like to see. After sending off a large group of girls, he returned to his office and sat down. Stephen pushed open the door and walked in. Harry, I've already investigated the matter of Lester's mining business on the West Coast. Oh, what has he been doing recently? Harry asked. He left Maryland a few days ago and returned to the West Coast. His whereabouts after that were very mysterious. I spent a lot of effort to find out that this guy seems to have gone dark. Harry spat out a lot of water in his mouth as soon as he drank it. Gone dark? And he even made it so mysterious? Stephen nodded. The West Coast Mining is preparing to have a marriage alliance with the daughter of the chairman of the Kohler Corporation. This daughter, named Nancy, is very famous on the West Coast and is very powerful. These two companies, or rather, the two families, are the top of the West Coast. Both parties are still discussing the marriage alliance. Whether it's successful or not, we have to keep it a secret in the early stages. Harry suddenly said, Once the social gathering fails, it will cause a bad influence on the outside world. No wonder it's so secretive. Stephen smiled and said, I don't think this matter is reliable. What do you mean? Harry asked, puzzled. Well, Lester is famous for being a playboy. He's a typical playboy. He changes women all the time as if he's changing his clothes. And Nancy's famous for being overbearing on the West Coast. She can't even see a speck of sand in her eyes. She even said that she wants to find a man who is wholeheartedly devoted to her and doesn't know how to be fickle. Do you think she'll take a fancy to Lester? Harry shook his head. That's true. However, if the marriage between the two families is the same, no matter how unwilling Lester or Nancy are, they won't be able to stop it. As a member of the Parker family, Harry had a very clear view of the marriage between these two families. He wouldn't care about the true thoughts of the two families. As long as both families were interested in the marriage must be carried out. It was impossible to give up the benefits that could be brought to the family just because of the happiness of two juniors. Stephen sighed with emotion. That's a pity. If the marriage was successful, both Lester and Nancy would be in deep trouble. Just like what Stephen said, Lester felt as if his whole body was being roasted. Nancy, who was sitting opposite him, was looking at him with a strange look. What kind of look is that? Lester said unhappily. Nancy said bluntly. The look of looking at trash. Me? I'm your future husband. You better treat me with respect. Lester shouted. This piece of trash like you is worthy of being my husband? Do you think I'm willing? Lester was very dissatisfied with the family's decision. Although Nancy was beautiful, her personality was too strong. If she really got married, she would definitely keep an eye on him. How could she go out and have fun? Listen up. Although I'm not happy with the family's decision, since the matter has already been decided, I have no choice but to do it. From today onwards, you have to be honest with me. If you dare to mess with me again, I'll break your legs, Nancy said fiercely. She was also thinking about her own face. After all, she had said a long time ago that she would choose a perfect man who would wholeheartedly love her in the future. However, she didn't expect that the family would arrange a famous bastard. The women Lester played with could circle the West Coast in a line. How could Nancy accept this? To find such a man was simply a disgrace to her. Episode 179, Participating. After Harry gave the girls of dance club a day off, many of them chose to go shopping. There were also some girls who went back to school to find their classmates who were still at school to play with. Harriet was the president of the dance club. There were also many friends in the school. They had not seen each other for many days, so they had a very lively chat with everyone. You're going to Harry's entertainment company now? Chelsea is the president? A beautiful girl who was with Harriet said in surprise. Harry, the legendary super-rich heir? Another pretty girl asked. Yes, I was also very surprised when I went to apply for the job, Harriet said. I really did not expect that. I was wondering why Chelsea, the president of Students' Union, did not see anyone recently. She actually went to the CEO of a new company. Hey, your dance club has a performance recently. Harriet nodded and said, It's the first performance after joining the company. During the opening ceremony of Star Moon Hotel, our dance club will perform for the 4 composers in the company. Wow, the scene must be very grand. It's the only 5-star hotel in Maryland. Who are those 4 celebrities? They can actually participate in such an important performance? Harriet smiled and said, 2 of them are also from our school. Really? I also want to go and take a look. Don't think about it. We're just ordinary students. How can we be qualified to attend a gathering of upper-class people? This is not necessarily true. Harriet, can you tell Harry to let us participate in the celebration too? I really want to go and take a look. Harriet thought about it a little awkwardly. Although she did not want to trouble Harry, she thought that Harry was not the kind of person who was not easy to talk to. She agreed and said, Okay, I'll go back and ask. I can't guarantee that it will work. Great, thank you. When she returned to the company, she met Harry. Harriet did not wait to ask him. Harry said first, Harriet, I have something to talk to you about. What is it? Are your people from the dance club afraid of heights? Harry asked. Afraid of heights? Harriet asked doubtfully. Yes, the performance will be held at a very high position in a few days. If there is a girl who is afraid of heights, she will not be able to participate in the performance, Harry said. Harriet was not too sure. Harry said it was very high, but he still said most of them are afraid of heights, but some of them are mild. Harry thought for a while and said, "So it's like this. We should do some adaptive training as soon as possible. If we still can't overcome it, we can only get rid of the performance team." Harriet nodded and said, "Yes, it was not a full team to begin with. There must be some substitutes left for emergencies. Then let's treat those who are unable to adapt to the high altitudes as substitutes." "All right, go and make the arrangements as soon as possible." Harriet turned around and walked a few steps. She remembered that she had almost forgotten about the matter of her classmates getting rid of her. She caught up with Harry again and asked, "Harry, there's one more thing that I forgot to tell you." "What is it?" Harriet felt a little embarrassed and asked, "I have a few classmates who want to attend the celebration. I don't know if you agree or not." After all, these ordinary students were not on the same level as Harry. The people who attended the celebration were all upper-class people in Maryland. If these students participated in the ceremony, others would think that they were too inferior. Harriet felt that this kind of request was a bit too much. Unexpectedly, Harry laughed. "What do I think? Isn't your classmate also my classmate? All you have to do is come. This is the admission ticket. Here you go." As he spoke, he took out more than 10 admission tickets and handed them to Harriet. "This? I'm really sorry to trouble you," Harriet said apologetically. Harry was easy to talk to, as always, which made Harriet's heart ripple. In the short time she had been with Harry, she found that Harry was really a perfect man. There was no room for criticism. He had never put on airs. He could be harmonious with ordinary students like them and take care of them very well. Harriet held the dozen or so admission tickets in her hands and felt a little flattered. This is too much. I don't need these." Harry waved his hand and said, "It's not just you. Many people in the school who know the news want to attend. My celebration is very ordinary, not some fancy banquet. I welcome those who are willing to come and play at any time. If there's anyone else who wants to come and play on your side, give them the admission ticket." "Okay, thank you." Harriet thanked him again. After saying goodbye to her, Harry returned to the office and Mr. Cross called. "Sir, the arrangements for the celebration venue are almost done. The stage arrangements are also roughly completed. We can come over and rehearse these few days." There's no rush to rehearse. The artists and dance teams aren't fully prepared yet. Let them contact us for a few more days." Mr. Cross hesitated and said, "There's one more thing. Kiss Holliday's assistant asked me for help. She wants to push away the artist from Star Moon Entertainment and let her perform, but I've already refused." Harry sneered in his heart when he heard this news. Kiss Holliday did not ask about it. Star Moon Hotel and Star Moon Entertainment were both his own businesses. She was actually foolish enough to want to squeeze Star Moon Entertainment's artist away. Wasn't there something wrong with her brain? "You don't need to tell me this kind of thing. Just do as you see fit." Mr. Cross said, "This matter is secondary. The main thing is that ever since we sent Kiss Holliday away, there have been a lot of sneaky people in the hotel recently." Harry frowned and asked, "Who are they?" "Not sure. The other party is very cautious. They sent people to catch them a few times, but they slipped away. Sir, do you think Lester is ready to make a move?" Harry thought for a while and shook his head. "It is not possible for him. I think it should be Kiss Holliday who hired people. How about this? I'll give George a call. He should have more or less integrated the Wolf Guard. It is time for them to take part in the fight." Lester was currently having a headache about the arranged marriage for his family. How could he have the time to care about the matters in Maryland? Therefore, Harry concluded that these people were definitely not sent by Lester. Other than him, there was only Kiss Holliday or Jenkins. Their intention was nothing more than to stir up the master of Star Moon Entertainment's performance. However, Harry did not have any evidence at the moment and did not have the time to care about these two small characters. Mr. Cross said happily, "If the Wolf Guard is in charge of security, I will be relieved." After hanging up the phone, Harry called George. "How is integration of the Wolf Guard going? Will it be useful?" George patted his chest and promised, "Any time." "All right, I was waiting for you to say that. It hasn't been very peaceful recently. Arrange for the Wolf Guard to control a few places that need protection, especially Star Moon Hotel. There must not be any accidents during the celebration. Don't worry, sir. No matter who dares to cause trouble, we'll beat them until they find their teeth all over the ground. Episode 180. Buy a Ticket. The opening ceremony to Star Moon Hotel had caused a huge commotion in the entire Maryland. As a 5-star hotel in Maryland, it was already very shocking when it was burned down by the fire the last time. Those who were well informed also knew that this was related to the fight between the wealthy class families. Star Moon Hotel was one of the victims. It could be said that they had suffered a great loss. The culprit behind the fire, Troy, had lost so much that he almost thought he was dead. The destruction of all the production lines in the land armor industry had been buried with Star Moon Hotel. Now the hotel had been reborn from the ashes, but land armor industry was still in low spirits and did not show any signs of improvement. Anyone with discerning eyes could see that the winner of this battle was the winner. No one in the outside world knew about Troy's apology, and the master of Star Moon Hotel, Harry, was even more unknown to the outside world. They only knew that he had suddenly descended from Maryland. First, he had destroyed the Coral Group abandoned family. Then he had forced Benedict of the Red family away. Even the heir of the Smith family, Troy, had been defeated by Harry. Such a powerful figure had done so many great things. He should be a very prominent figure among the upper class of Maryland. However, no one knew about Harry. They didn't even know about his appearance. Now, Harry, this mysterious super-rich heir, was going to hold the opening ceremony of Star Moon Hotel. Those who received the news wanted to see who Harry really was. Anyone who could build a good relationship with him would basically be able to do whatever they wanted in Maryland. Therefore, without Mr. Cross's invitation, all the higher-ups in Maryland heard the news and wanted to get a ticket to the ceremony. Mr. Cross had already received Harry's instructions. The number of tickets for the higher-ups wasn't a lot. After all, no matter how big the venue for the celebration was, it was limited. It was impossible to sit tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of people, just like a concert. Harry gave most of the admission tickets to his classmates in Maryland University. Although Chelsea admired Harry's way of doing things, she still had a different opinion. For the company's interests, the purpose of the celebration was to reshape the image of Star Moon Hotel and make the company's artist famous. If most of the people who came to participate were students of Maryland University, it would be difficult to achieve the goal. Harry, I think it's better to give less admission tickets to the students. It won't do the company any good, Chelsea advised. Harry shook his head. It doesn't matter. I don't lack money. What benefits do you want? Chelsea looked at Harry helplessly. She was speechless of his attitude of not caring about anything. It's good that everyone is happy. Why did you get some unrelated people to be an eyesore? Harry said with a smile. In Harry's eyes, the so-called upper-class people in Maryland were no different from ordinary people. No matter how strong an ant was, it was still an ant. Would an elephant think highly of an ant just because it was strong? At this moment, the entrance tickets to the Star Moon Hotel celebration had stirred up a wave in the Maryland University. Look, I got an admission ticket. Fuck, brother, you're so awesome. How did you get it? Quickly, tell me. Steven has it. Hey, how could I forget about him? I'm gonna go get one too. Don't go too late. It's already been stolen. What? The reason why they all wanted the admission ticket was because the outdoor activities sponsored by Harry previously were too awesome. Luxurious cars, free food, and all sorts of luxurious logistical support were dazzling to the eyes. When those who had gone to attend the event came back, they were so envious that their intestines turned green with regret. Now Harry had given everyone a free entrance ticket for the celebration. How could these people not be moved? Who has an extra admission ticket? Kneel and beg. Is there any boy who's willing to give up the admission ticket and make an appointment to exchange for it? On the Maryland University forum, posts related to the admission ticket appeared one after another. Those who got admission tickets posted on the forum to show off after taking pictures. Those who didn't get the tickets left messages behind. They were all filled with envy. Many girls directly said that if they could get an admission ticket, that they could play as they pleased. The boys did not have this condition, so they could only try to spend money to buy it. They all left comments on the forum to buy it. Being able to get an admission ticket had already become a trend. It meant that he was someone of status in school, and if he didn't, he wouldn't be able to greet anyone when he went out. Do you have an admission ticket? No. Trash. Just as many people were begging for an admission ticket, a post at the top of the forum caused the entire school to explode. A large sum of money is required to buy an admission ticket to the Star Moon Hotel celebration. $20,000 per ticket. Cash transaction, no limit. What the fuck? Who is this? What the fuck? $20,000 for one? An admission ticket is worth so much. Upstairs, it's an idiot. It's a celebration of a 5-star hotel. Just the food and drinks are worth the price. Everyone was stunned. Previously, there were students who wanted to spend money to buy it. It was only a few $100s. At most, $1,000. After all, they were all students. They did not have the ability to afford it. The only time they attended the celebration was during a concert, and they could still eat and drink well. He didn't expect that someone would be able to fork out $20,000 just to buy the right to enter the venue. No one wants to sell it. Then I'll raise the price again. It's $30,000, and there's no limit to the number. 30,000. What the heck? This money is equivalent to the living expenses of my university for 4 years. Don't you have a ticket? Are you selling it? I'll think about it. While everyone was still watching, another post appeared. 50,000 tickets for admission, as much as you want. Where did this pop up from? It's not just one person who bid 30,000, right? $50,000 per piece. Isn't that too exaggerated? Crazy. 50,000. No one wants to sell it. It's hard to say, even if someone secretly contacted and sold it. Just as they were discussing on the forum, someone really contacted the person requesting to buy it. $50,000 sold the entrance ticket. Brandon asked Steven for an admission ticket. He originally wanted to gain some experience, but he didn't expect an idiot to bid $50,000 for it. Although Brandon asked for as much as he could, he didn't believe that anyone would have so much money to buy a ticket at such a high price. He was afraid that someone would sell it to him first and make him lose the opportunity to earn money. Brandon decisively made a move and contacted the other party immediately. He really got $50,000. Haha! The money is too easy to earn. I'll go in exchange for a phone first. Brandon happily ran to the shopping mall and prepared to exchange for a new phone that he had long coveted. Just as he was choosing, his roommate called him. Brandon, you sold the tickets?